Okay.
All right, everyone. Review Realm here. And doing things a little bit differently for this one. You're watching part 2 of this album review here. Again, if you don't know what you clicked upon, we're talking Static X's first album in 11 years. And this is the first of 2 albums, too, that they're going to put out. It's been a long time, so we're still talking Project Regeneration Volume 1 here. Now, Josh, a lot has happened since 2009, since the last time they dropped an album. The band split up, Wayne started doing his own thing, and then sadly, it led to his life ending in 2014.
Right.
So like I said before, I had said when that happened, I was like, that's it. I was like, this band, he was the guy of the band. So it was like, how do you come back from that?
He's such like a unique figure in like industrial music. Like he's so iconic, But one of the things that I really liked about this record, and we can kind of go more into it when we go by like track by track. But one of the cool things about this is how it manages to retain so many of the good things that made their old material fun, and also managed to kind of bring that back into like modern tones and sounds and stuff like that. Like, again, that's not necessarily done through the vocals, I think, as much as it is through the instrumentation and the actual like tones that they use. I think that's what helps modernize it a little bit more than their old stuff.
They found these old unused recordings of Wayne that they never did anything with, and some of these go as far back as 2004.
Right.
And so what they did was they made the music around those vocals,
right,
like the current members, and they really did an excellent job with it, building the music around his voice. He's not on every song on the album, but he's on like most of them.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because it's like reverse engineering a song. Usually the vocal the last thing to go on the track, so like you working backwards is kind of like it makes for a pretty cool kind of flow to the songs, because it's almost like the songs had to go a certain way to fit with his vocals. This whole album is like being stuck in the opening credits for SmackDown.
Yeah. I feel like I'm playing SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. It's obviously it's industrial music, so I mean what you get is you get what you expect to get, but I think the fact that there's have a deep attachment to this band, this is something that would make it really special for them, because it's almost like he was around for one more record.
I feel like I said in the other part, I had said it feels like he never left. It feels like he's still here.
I want like a Tupac hologram Wayne Static.
Honestly, that was something they considered when they wanted to start touring, but they were like, no, we need somebody there.
You need like an actual person, for sure.
What's cool is because Wayne's not on every song on this album, so they have this new vocalist on some of the other songs, and they've tried to keep it a mystery by just calling him Zero.
Right.
And but most people know who it is now. But as far as his performance, he sounds a lot like Wayne.
Yeah.
Like until I actually looked at the track list, it was hard for me to tell on some parts which one was him and then which one was Wayne.
So he was like training to like sound like Wayne for like ever.
I'm sure, probably.
Like, this was his goal. The first one that I wanted to talk about was Bring You Down. And I know that kind of pops up a little bit about like halfway through the record, but when I was listening to some of this, like it kind of like brings you back a little bit to like older music, and it's almost like relaxing in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, definitely it has really that like nostalgic feel to it.
Yeah.
Because like I grew up with this band, when I was like starting to like get into like this type of music.
This is like some of the most fun I've had listening to like industrial and forever. That track, I heard that, and I remember just like having a kind of a vibe where I was like, oh man, like this is like home base almost. Like if you grew up like in that time period and you like this band, like this is like a classic. I don't know how to describe it other than just like raw nostalgia.
Yeah, I get that feeling a lot throughout this whole album.
Yeah,
like I was saying, like some of my more favorite tracks before, like Hollow, like Terminator Oscillator.
Yeah.
All These Years is a fun one. Bring You Down, My Destruction. Something of My Own was the one where I was like, this is like, you had that feeling with Bring You Down. Something of My Own is where I had that feeling where it was just like, felt like such a throwback to me, and it was so enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool that like the title of it's kind of suiting. It's Project Regeneration. Obviously, it's like the band trying to recreate itself, or like fit. You know what I mean? Like figure out how they're going to carry on. And you know, this is something that like happens to a lot of bands. Like, you know, we've seen a lot of bands like lose vital parts and still kind of keep rolling, and you know, they kind of go through like a metamorphosis, right? Musically and artistically. Lyrically, what did you think of this record?
I enjoy it. You know, I mean, they're not the most like, you know, like I guess like thought-provoking lyrics, I guess, and everything. But you know, I guess Static X is not that type of band either.
Yeah, they're not.
You know, they're almost a very simple band. You know, I think a lot of their focus is really, it's not on the guitars, or any of the other instruments or anything. They're really based on like, you know, sequencers and like sampling, like any other industrial app would be, and everything else like the guitars is like a foundation. So, but you know, lyrically, it sounds like you know, stuff that Wayne, like definitely stuff that Wayne has, you know, talked about before.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. The sampling is like pretty cool. Like I said, I think there's just a couple of like real subtle aspects that keep this the same but make it slightly different. I think the sound overall of the band is a little bit more modernized, obviously, because I'm sure they have more updated equipment and stuff like that. Sampling, pretty good. Like I think that it's like one of the parts of the record that shines through. I feel like I'm sitting in a nightclub full of vampires when it's freaking awesome. Like, it's just a good time. Like, if you want to, honestly, like if you want to space out and just like have a good record to listen to, this is definitely like probably one of the more enjoyable ones that I've listened to in a long time.
Yeah, and I think what else I like is that it's not a long album either.
It's like 30.
It's like about 40 minutes. Yeah, 12 songs, 40 minutes. I was like, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, just keep it to what you're doing, and like don't drag things on for too long. It's not that kind of record. You're not Tool.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you put it on, I mean, it's over pretty fast, but like by the time you get to the end, you're like, you know what? I'm pretty happy with this.
Yeah, it was nice. It's not long enough to be bad.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's not long enough to be bad. It's just like a real interesting strategy. It's just good. I'm kind of a sucker for this kind of stuff though, man.
Yeah, and like to me, it's still such a shock to me that they were able to stick with it even after, you know, Wayne had passed away. Yeah. I said they found a way to make, you know, the best out of, you know, something awful.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm sure it wasn't an easy thing to do, because like what they wanted this album to be is, you know, be a tribute to him.
Right.
Is what they wanted. And you know, they found a way to use him, and they found a way to bring in a new singer without having the spotlight on him, because that's not what they want. What they want
him
is
to just blend in.
Yeah, what they want is it to be about Wayne, because Wayne was the guy for them.
He was always going to be the guy.
Reggie, what are your thoughts on this album?
Loves it.
This is only the first album. There's going to be another album.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. I'm like, wow, they must have had a lot of stuff left over.
Or they kept all that material. Like, where do they keep all that? It's like the Disney Vault. Disney Vault for Hot Topic employees.
So, like, literally, like, I think the producer of this album, you know, produced most of their work. And he's the one that found it. And then he sent it to Tony Campos, who's their bass player. And he says, hey, look what I found. He said, that's, you know, cool. It's like, let's do something with it.
That's crazy. What a good idea, though. I kind of like that people try to keep old veins of music alive.
Nothing wrong with, you know, finding a way to keep this stuff going. And they did. Yeah. They absolutely did.
It's pretty cool to see these kind of things come back, because music's changed so much, even in the time like we've been alive.
Yeah, I said this is a really fun album between all the unexpectedness behind it, and, you know, and then, you know, the album finally here, and, you know, to hear how it sounds, I said this is exactly what I wanted.
It's long enough for you to get into a fight with your mom, go to the store, grab a $1 Arizona can, smoke a cigarette, and drive home.
Yep. Perfect summary.
You're an angry kid in 2004.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much our thoughts on Project Regeneration Volume 1. That's Reggie's thoughts on Project Regeneration Volume 1.
Sitting on my head.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments section. We still got another album from them coming out. I don't know when. When it does come out, we'll be here to talk about it.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I hope they keep the same kind of vibe, but what if they switch it up?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know how much of Wayne's stuff will be on it.
You know what would be cool is if they released the raw vocals from him and they let fans like make a track with them.
That would be cool.
Imagine all the different songs that would come out with the same lyrics.
Yeah.
Be really cool. Like,
yeah, that'd actually be neat. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do.
Yeah.
We'll see when it comes out.